Hello everyone, welcome back to the Deep Sea Fishing Channel. Whales are among the most majestic and mysterious marine creatures on Earth. They impress not only with their enormous size, but also with the important role they play in the ocean ecosystem. There are over 90 species of whales, dolphins, and porpoises, all belonging to the order Cetacea. These species are divided into two main groups. 1. Baleen whales, Mysticetes, whales with baleen plates. These whales do not have teeth. Instead, they use baleen plates to filter feed on krill, plankton, and small fish, typically larger in size than toothed whales. 2. Toothed whales, Odontocytae, whales with teeth. These whales have teeth and hunt fish, squid, and other marine animals. Use echolocation to navigate and find prey. Today, several countries still engage in whaling, despite international regulations and bans by the International Whaling Commission (IWC). These countries include Japan, withdraw from the IWC in 2019 and resumed commercial whaling in its territorial waters and exclusive economic zone. Norway, officially objects to the IWC's moratorium on commercial whaling and sets its own quotas for whale hunting. Iceland, one of the few countries that still issues permits for commercial whaling, mainly for export to Japan. Denmark, Faroe Islands. The Faroe Islands conducted Grindadrap, a traditional hunt targeting pilot whales and other small cetaceans. Indigenous communities. Some indigenous groups in Canada, the United States, Alaska, Russia, and Greenland are allowed to hunt whales for subsistence and cultural reasons under IWC regulations. Below are images of fishermen from the Chukotka region hunting whales using simple canoes and rudimentary tools. Chukotka is one of the most remote areas of Russia, well known for its indigenous culture and traditional hunting practices, including whale hunting by the Chukchi people. The fishermen identify their target, approach the whale, and then throw sharp harpoons into it. The harpoon tips are tied to long ropes connected to floating buoys on the sea to avoid losing track of the prey. This whale is enormous, possibly weighing dozens of tons, so a single harpoon is not enough to bring it down. Other fishermen quickly approach and launch dozens more harpoons into the whale's vital areas, causing it to quickly weaken and collapse. Chukotka is one of the northernmost regions of Russia, with a cold climate year-round and long, harsh winters. As a result, vegetation here is extremely limited, with only a few plant species able to survive, primarily mosses, lichens, cold-resistant grasses, and some dwarf shrubs. Wildlife is relatively more diverse, including species such as reindeer, polar bears, Arctic foxes, walruses, whales, and many species of migratory birds. The Chukotka people hunt whales mainly for subsistence and to preserve their long-standing traditions. Whale meat is an essential food source, especially during the long, harsh winter months. Whale blubber is a rich source of energy, helping them endure the extreme Arctic cold. Some portions of whale meat and blubber are also used to feed sled dogs, their traditional means of transportation on ice and snow. Whale blubber can also be used to make oil for lamps. Whale bones are used to build house frames, craft items, and even tools for daily work. Whale hunting is closely connected to traditional rituals, community festivals, and spiritual beliefs about the sea, good fortune, and protection from nature. This activity is not only a necessity, but also a way to maintain traditional skills and knowledge passed down through generations. Whale hunting by the Chukotka people is carried out under special quotas permitted by the International Whaling Commission, IWC, within the framework of Aboriginal subsistence whaling. Above is a bowhead whale caught by fishermen from the Barrow, Alaska area, being transported to the processing site with the help of heavy machinery. Barrow, Alaska, now officially known as Utqiagvik, is one of the Inupiat indigenous communities in the Arctic region of the United States, and they continue to practice traditional bowhead whale hunting. This hunting is not for commercial purposes, but to meet the community's needs for food, culture, and tradition. The activity is permitted and strictly regulated under the supervision of the International Whaling Commission, IWC, and the Alaska Eskimo Whaling Commission, AEWC. Each year, the community is granted a quota for the number of bowhead whales they are allowed to hunt, usually fewer than 50 for all of Alaska. They use traditional methods such as umiak, skin boats, and whale harpoons, combined with modern equipment. After the hunt, all parts of the whale meat and blubber are shared equally among the entire community and become an important part of major festivals, such as the Nalukataq Festival, a Thanksgiving celebration following the hunting season.
ก็หนาวเย็นนะสังเกตใส่เสื้อแจ็คเก็ตแต่ละคนหนาตึ๊บเลยนะครับใส่หมวกไหมพรมนะรวมทั้งใส่
When talking about whaling, it is impossible not to mention Japan. Whaling in Japan is both a long-standing tradition and a subject of international controversy. Japan has a whaling tradition that spans hundreds of years, especially in regions like Taiji and Wakayama. Initially, whaling was a small-scale activity serving daily life, food needs, and rituals. However, with the advent of modern hunting equipment, the scale and annual number of whales hunted by Japan increased significantly. Japan used to participate in whaling activities for scientific research purposes under the regulations of the International Whaling Commission, IWC. However, many opinions suggest that this was merely a cover for commercial purposes. In 2019, Japan withdrew from the IWC and officially announced the return to commercial whaling within its territorial waters, an exclusive economic zone. Japan argues that whaling is part of its culture, tradition, and national sovereignty. Japan typically conducts whaling activities at two main times of the year. Summer, from June to August. This is when Japan conducts whaling in the North Pacific region. Winter, from December to March. During this period, they hunt whales in the Antarctic region. The main whale species hunted in Japan include minke whale, the most commonly hunted species due to its moderate size and abundant population. Bride's whale, often hunted in coastal waters near Japan. Sei whale, a larger species that was previously hunted under the guise of research and now is included in limited commercial whaling. Sperm whale, previously hunted during offshore expeditions, now more restricted, but still listed in research targets in the past. However, since Japan's withdrawal from the IWC in 2019, whaling activities have primarily focused on three species: minke whales, bride's whales, and sei whales in waters close to Japan. Although Japan is well known for its whaling activities and has caused much controversy, in terms of numbers, Norway has been the country with the highest whale hunting output in recent years. Norway officially objected to the International Whaling Commission, IWC, ban on commercial whaling in 1993 and set its own annual quotas. Each year, Norway hunts between 500 and over 1,200 whales, mainly minke whales, to supply the domestic market. In addition, the Norwegian government and local fishermen consider whaling to be a part of their culture and traditional livelihood. The whale being slaughtered in the video is a minke whale. The minke whale is one of the most common whale species in the world, and therefore it is classified as least concern in the IUCN Red List due to its relatively stable population. Minke whales play an important role in the food chain, helping to control the populations of krill and small fish. They primarily feed on krill, small fish such as herring, cod, and squid. To process a whale into various parts, a sharp specialized knife or cutting machine is first used to remove the whale's skin and blubber. The blubber is separated for processing into oil or other products. The whale meat is cut into large strips and then further divided into smaller pieces for cooking or preservation. The bones and internal organs are also removed and sorted. The meat is kept chilled or frozen for export or domestic consumption. Some parts are kept to make specialty foods, whale oil, or for research purposes. store a large amount of fat in their bodies, and this layer of fat is called blubber. Blubber is a thick layer of fat located just beneath the skin, which can be from a few centimeters to several tens of centimeters thick, depending on the whale species and its living environment. This fat layer plays a very important role: heat retention. It helps whales stay warm while swimming in cold ocean waters. Energy storage. When food is scarce, whales can convert blubber into energy to sustain life. Buoyancy and easier swimming. The fat is light, providing natural buoyancy and helping whales move more efficiently underwater. In some species, this blubber has also been used by humans in the past to produce whale oil, candles, cosmetics, or industrial materials. Whale meat has a dark red color because their bodies contain a high concentration of myoglobin, a type of protein responsible for storing and transporting oxygen in the muscles. Myoglobin has a dark red color, and in animals that dive for long periods underwater like whales, the amount of myoglobin is very high to supply oxygen to the body throughout extended dives. Therefore, their muscles, the meat, have a distinct dark red color, similar to beef, but even darker. Additionally, whale meat contains a lot of iron and other minerals, which also contribute to its rich color and nutritional value. Whale meat, especially from species like the minke whale, has relatively high nutritional value and has been used as traditional food in some countries, such as Japan, Norway, and Iceland. Whale meat contains a lot of high-quality protein, providing all the essential amino acids for the body, supporting muscle development and cell recovery. The dark red color of whale meat comes from its high content of myoglobin and iron, similar to red meat. This helps supplement iron and vitamin B12, which are very beneficial for the blood and nervous system. Like other types of seafood, whale meat contains omega-3 fatty acids, which are good for heart health, help reduce inflammation, and support brain function. Whale meat has a relatively higher fat and calorie content compared to many other types of meat, especially when accompanied by blubber. This provides a good source of energy but can also be considered a fatty food if consumed in large quantities. Some studies have shown that whale meat, particularly from older whales, may contain high levels of mercury and bioaccumulated pollutants, so it is not recommended for frequent consumption or for young children and pregnant women. In my opinion, the fact that some countries continue to hunt whales is a complex issue, involving both cultural tradition and raising ethical and conservation concerns. From a cultural perspective, I understand that there are communities that consider this practice part of their heritage and a source of livelihood for generations. However, in the context of climate change, ocean pollution, and the risk of declining populations of many marine species, continuing to hunt whales can easily become an unsustainable action and create negative reactions on the international stage. I think that instead of continuing whaling, countries should find ways to preserve and benefit from whales in non-violent ways, such as through ecotourism or scientific research. This would help maintain cultural traditions while also being responsible toward the environment. What do you think?